Greetings, fellow adventurers. WULF-OF-STEEL here, and today we're taking another dive into Diablo 2 Resurrected on the PS5. It's been ages since I played. As you can tell, I caved. I gave in. Right now D4 is in a bit of a lull. I've pretty much finished everything I wanted to do with this season on that. I think I just missed like one simple mission. I think it was in the final chapter of that, but I pretty much maxed out everything I can do in D4 for this season. So I'm gonna wait until the next season. So it's a bit of a lull there. We're a bit of a lull with Fallout 76, DL the Beast. They still haven't fixed the nerfs that they did with XP on that, so I've got no interest playing that game ever again unless they do decide to fix those. And Fallout 4. Got kind of affected by a bug on that one, so I'm not really looking. So, anyways, I'm like, okay, what else can I do? So I said, hey, what the heck? Why not try out the Warlock? Try out this new character for D2. I haven't played D2 in a billion years, and what the hell? Let's go ahead and boot it back up. So, kind of liking it so far. It's been so long since I played that it's kind of got a bit of a fresh feel to it. I will tell you, if you've never played D2 before, it's very different from, well, I wouldn't say very different, but it's definitely distinct from the other Diablo games. A lot of hardcore truists will tell you that it's probably the only real Diablo game, or like the goat of the Diablo games, and I could definitely see that. D2 Resurrected, they did upgrade the graphics as best as they could. It does look nice, but does it look anything as awesome as D4? No. Okay? I don't care, all you guys that are like, worshiping on the D2 throne. Listen, D4 graphically blows D2 away so bad. There's not even, it's not even worth comparing, okay? I mean, I could point out the 150,000 different things that are better about D4 as far as graphics are concerned. And honestly, listen, I'm a spoiled kid. I want a game to look good. That's what I got a next-gen gaming system for. I didn't get a next-gen gaming system so I could play games that look like a 10-year-old game, which D2 Resurrected does look. The animations are still garbage. The movement, but a lot of people love it because of the customization. Now, notice you can't customize the character. That's another thing. D4 is very, very detailed in how you make your characters look. You could choose whether they're male or female, choose all kinds of different facial features and tattoos and all these different things. D2 doesn't give you any of those options. If it's a warlock, it's a male. That's it. That's all you got. If it's an Amazon, it's a female. Well, okay, I'll give you with that one. But the sorcerer, there's only a sorceress, so it's always a female. Barbarian's always a male. I mean, it doesn't really give you much in the way of choices there. So I don't know. I don't. All these guys are like, well, it's D2 is the real RPG. Really? Is it a real RPG when you really don't have a lot of options to choose from? Tell me how. Anyways, that being said, it's still fun. I'm not saying don't get it, but if you never played Diablo before, and you got the quid for just one game, I'm gonna say go with 4. Period. Plain and simple. That there's not even a question. Okay, if you got all kinds of extra quids, rolling around, and you want to try something different, D2 Resurrected definitely worth the try. It is fun. It's a lot like Path of Excrement. In fact, well, it's better than Path of Excrement. I'll tell you that right here and now. But as far as graphically, it's about on that level. So now all those PoE guys are going to be screaming at me, how dare you? Listen, your game is nothing more than shareware garbage, okay? I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Okay, so what I'm doing here in this particular mission is I'm going to show you something about farming the Countess. The Countess is a boss level in the first act. She's in a tower in the Black Marsh, and she's known to drop some decent runes. Now, I'm in normal right now. You can't get to the next level of difficulty until you complete the game as normal. And I'm a little bit stuck because Mephisto, who's the boss in Act 3, is giving me a hell of a hard time. And I've heard a lot of chatter and read a lot, seen a lot of other examples about how there's a way to trap Mephisto in an area where he can't really hurt you and you can hurt him, but you need to be able to teleport to do that. Well, teleport is not a skill that the Warlock has. In fact, it's not a skill that most characters have. So I'm like, well, how is that? I mean, the sorceress teleports, but how are these other guys going to do it? And I hear that there's a staff you can buy in Act 3 in Karest, a teleport staff that artificially gives you the teleport skill. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's grab that because, the guys that say Mephisto's easy, well, those are the people that are using this trapping method. Obviously, then he's easy. But if he's not trapped, if he's out there roaming around, he ain't easy. He can one-shot you, no problem. And that's the issue I'm having with him. So, in order to get this staff, though, you got to have buco bucks. And so the best way, in my opinion, with a newer, earlier character like mine, is farming, what we call farming the Countess. It's good for a lot of things. Not only is it good for farming, you can farm gems, you can farm runes, and you can also farm gold. And that's what I'm doing. I want to go back to Karest with about 30K. That should be enough to get me that staff and have a little bit left over. And so that's my goal here. So, to farm the Countess, just make sure you've already completed Act 1 and you've already moved on to either Act 2 or 3, okay? So once you've done that, you just use the caravan guy, Mashif. If you're in Act 2, he'll take you back to Act 1. If you're in Act 3 in Karest, you've got to go to the boat guy first, forgot his name. He'll take you back to Luke Ghislaine, and then from there you get Mashif to take you back to the first level. So little hopping, but nonetheless, once you're there, the nice thing about it is you won't have to rediscover all the areas you've been to. The maps will pretty much still be there. So go ahead and load that up. Now, of course, you're probably saying, what about the sorcerer, the warlock? What about the warlock? Okay, let's go and take a quick look at him. Oops. Okay, so I've got all some gear. By the way, these rejuvenation potions, in my opinion, best potion there is. Just look at that. Heals 35% life and mana. It's the best of the best. So I've got my belt loaded with those babies. Yeah. So another thing I did is, because I don't want to get anywhere near Mephisto and I don't want to burn through all my magic trying to hit him with spells, I made myself a Zephyr, which is a pretty nice bow to start with. It's a pretty decent starting bow to have. It's probably like everybody gets a Zephyr, you don't get it. You have to make it, of course, with the proper runes, which is Ort and F together. You need a 2-socket bow. I definitely recommend the long bow for this one. And then you add the Ort and F, and boom, it turns into a Zephyr. And as you can see there, Zephyr's got some pretty decent stats. It's a really good bow to start with. And it'll serve you well into the game until you can make some better ones. So that being said, let's take a look at his skill tree. Some of the spells for the Warlock that I find really cool is this one. I love it. It blasts a whole bunch of fireballs in a ring out from you. It's great for taking out mobs, or like if you're getting, if they're all they'll come in on you or hitting you from different directions. This is a great one to have. It's awesome. I love it. This one, I've actually used this one a couple of times. It's not fantastic, but it does help weaken enemies. Another one that's great for weakening enemies is the Miasma Chain. It literally just makes this glowing purple chain that wraps around your target, and it starts doing magic damage to them. It actually is really useful. I used it against the Trevinkel, what are those guys there? The anti-paladins, I call them, but in Trevinkel, those mini bosses, and this thing worked out really well. I was able to take them out. It doesn't kill them by itself, but You throw that miasma chain on them, and then you just hammer them with whatever you got, and they go down a lot quicker. So that's really cool to have. This one here, this enhanced head trophy, says it makes the your shadow magic more powerful. Okay, great. This is like the primary, attack for this warlock starting off. It's basically his version of a magic missile or fireball. It shows this fires out this purplish pink looking thing. Pretty good, pretty decent spell. Eldritch, I don't really use these. These are mostly for melee characters, except for this one here. It creates a shield around my character, which is helpful. I don't really get this too much. I guess it makes your melee weapon more powerful, and it allows you to hit things a little bit further away from your character, which is because the as you noticed in the image, the sword kind of floats. So I mean, whatever. I'm really not bothered with any of this other stuff. Some people might want to give it a shot. Go for it. Explore, figure it out, whatever. And then demons. When you first get your first demon, it's going to be a goatman. He's not bad. He's actually pretty good. He's a tough little bugger, But then I've upgraded to this thing, which is the Tainted. Love this guy. Absolutely love this guy. He is a beast. He is a brute, and he fires fireballs. You can't get any better than that. I'm not even interested in this thing here. It's Bound Souls. Like, this sounds kind of lame to me. I'm not really interested in checking him out right now. So I'm beefing up my Tainted. And then these two skills help your Tainted, or any summon demon for that matter, become more powerful. This last one down here, my guess is that you're trying to bind a demon. It's not like you're summoning your own demon. You're trying to take over another one that's already there. So it's got to be a wounded demon, and you try to bind it. Might play around with that. Not sure. But really, right now, my Tainted is the goat. He is the new goat. What's this thing here? Force the demon to teleport and attack an enemy. Whatever. Okay. All right. So, and then I got my mercenary. I've chosen, this is from Act 3. He's one of the Iron Wolves. This one uses cold magic. I highly recommend getting one that uses cold magic because he can freeze enemies. Believe me, that helps big time. And then try to give him some decent gear so he doesn't die every 5 minutes. Otherwise, you got to spend a buttload of money to resurrect him. As you can see, I've been farming for a little bit now. I'm up to 23.9. This next trip might kick me over 30K, especially if I find a couple more rings or something to hawk. So this might get it done for me, and then I can go ahead and head back to Carest and see if I can find that staff. So now, that said, let me summon my dude. There he is. What's up, buddy? All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go here, and we're going to go to the Black Marsh, which is where the source, the tower is, where, what's her face? Countess is. Take out a couple of enemies while we're on the way there. See if there's anything worth hawking or stealing. Not really. Oops. I hate those sorcerers. Take that. Failure. See how cool that is? Love that spell. Sometimes that thing comes running up to me, I'm scared. I'm like, oh my god, it's another monster. Nothing useful there. Okay. That's the there it is. There's his fireball, whatever you call it. He has the bolt. Yeah, they got the job done. Oh. Okay. Keep an eye out mainly for gems. It's really all I'm looking for. And And once you're done playing with all these guys out here, just head to the tower. Like I said, I've already mapped it out, so I already knew where the tower was. Go to the next level here. Yeah, see, these maps have already been cleared out, so I already know where everything is. But yeah, graphically, you know, this game is like a far cry from D4. D4 is just so damn good graphically. It's just absolutely breathtaking game. This game is it's mid, serviceable. It's serviceable enough to the point where it's not like I can't stand playing it. I would definitely not want to go back to D3 though. I tried and I just like, I can't. I'm not going that way because there's really nothing there I'm interested in. So heading to this level. Remember, our things I'm really looking for the most in here are gold, gems, and maybe a magic item if I think it might, or yeah, those are good. Yep, rejuvenation potions, want those. That doesn't look interesting at all, so I'm not going to waste my time with it. If it's a gold magic item, I believe that's our version of legendaries here. I would definitely be interested in picking it up because it'd be worth something. But now rings I'll pick up just because they only take up one inventory slot. That's one of the other things about this game is your inventory is super, super limited. Really sucks. Nothing really been making me stay there. Just don't have the inventory space to be picking up all kinds of random junk. Like I said, the rejuvenation potions, those are very useful. Okay. Level 5 is where the sorceress is. Not going to trigger her just yet. I'll take care of some of the other enemies first. Like the horse here today. I'm surprised they're all coming out of their holes. Alright, take this area here. Loads of gold in here. That's why it's a great place for farming this level, this tower. It's all about the money. Oh, more baddies. Get gold. Get portal. Grab that. Alright, Countess is up here in the top. Started by a bunch of other baddies. Now she's done. Look at that. She dropped 3 rooms. Sweet. For some reason, we can't open her chest. You only can do it the first time, I guess. Still, 3 rooms. That's good. Don't sleep on these barrels. Sometimes there's gold in them. And now let's loop back over to this little area. More baddies to take out. A bunch more gold to find right down here. And then there's a bunch of little chests to open up. And random, typical stuff in those. Okay. See how we're looking here. Ew. Not so great. 26,280. Might be enough. We'll check it out. We'll try. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and go back to camp. Now, one thing I do like about there was an update to the game before. Oh, hold on. Before with the inventory, your whole chest looked like this, just like in D4, just a bunch of blank areas to load stuff up. Personal is stuff that only this character can use. Shared is stuff that all of your characters can use. So I've got a bunch of stuff in a shared area, and some of this stuff, you know what? I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell this helmet. And let's take a look at this. A little light. Bring a charge bolt. It's kind of dumb. What's this? Tangerine, ring of light. Resist. +1 to light radius. 15 attack versus. I don't think so. No. Let's just sell that too. Keep the rest of the shit for now. But now, for gems, if you collect gems, there's a whole separate section just for them, which is great. All nice and organized. I love it. And then same is for materials and runes as well. So now when you pick up more runes, just kind of stick them where they are here, and this kind of helps you keep track of what you got, which is nice. I love that. Okay. Let me go over to what's your face here.
What can I do for you?
Sell these random things here. There we go. Now we're looking good. Oh, you know what? You can have that. Okay. Now, let's say I wasn't ready yet and I wanted to do another run for the sorceress. Like if I decided I wanted to farm up to 50k, or if I was looking for a specific rune, which is what I needed to do to make my Zephyr, I had to farm certain runes to be able to do that. So if you want to do that, just go ahead and save and exit, okay? And then just go ahead and hit play. And it loads you right back in here, and the tower is reset. All the enemies are reset. Everything's reset. You can go right back in there and do it all over again. Now, another thing is, like, if you're looking for a specific type of weapon or armor, now for me, I needed to get a bow, a long bow with two sockets, a 2-socket bow. So you would want to keep on checking the inventory of Charcy here, and then if she doesn't have what you're looking for, so you go in here, you go to trade, and you're like weapons, and you look at here, and you're like, yep, nope, this isn't what I want. Another option is there's another dude here, Geed. The hell is he? Right here. You can buy stuff from him.
Yes.
And sometimes he has some different things. See, he's got the longbow, and look at that, it's a 2-socket one. This is where I got mine from, okay? So in this case, you just buy it, and then when you have the runes you're looking for, pop them in there and go for it. And then so forth. So let's say he didn't have what I was looking for. Go ahead and reset the game. Just quit the game, and then load it back in, and then you'll have different inventory, okay? Another thing you can do with Geed, if you want to, is you can go to Gamble, and that gives you the opportunity to farm magic items. Now, it's super expensive. Look at that. Belt, $5,000. This axe, 13. Yeah, no thanks. If you've got loads and loads of gold and you want to get a magic item this way, go for it. But probably the best magic items of the game are pretty much the ones you can make using the runes. So what you really want to look for in this case, gambling with this guy isn't really going to get you anything useful. The only exception would be there was a magic longbow that I got one time I was playing for my my Amazon rather, and it had a constant effect of exploding arrows. It was unlimited exploding arrows. So basically it was launching fireballs. That bow, I don't even remember what it was called. It was a very specific, very rare magic bow. That carried me through the whole game, that thing. I loved it. Loved it. It took out mobs. It punished bosses. It was amazing. And unfortunately, it's gone. So, anyways, so I'm pretty much done the farming, all the farming I want to do for now. Like I said, if you want to go ahead and reset the game and jump back in. So now, oh, you know what? To get out of here, we got to find, not Deckard, Mashif. He should be up here somewhere. There he is. Or Wariv, sorry. Wariv is the guy that takes you between Loot Golain and this place here, whatever this place is, the Rogue Encampment. So,
Good day.
so go east. Now we're in Loot Golain. Okay. From here, you want to find Mashif. Mashif is going to be down here by the docks. It's not him. There he is.
Good to see you.
And he'll take us to Karest. Okay. Now, the guy I'm looking for is Ormus, and he should have the teleportation staff I'm looking for. So let's go to weapons. Here's the staffs. What do we got? So battle staff, battle staff, battle staff, lightning staff. Huh. There we go. See? Gnarled staff, teleportation. 33 charges. Okay. So let's go ahead. This is how much? 10? Oh, whoa. Holy. Are you kidding me? 106,000? 106,000. Look at this one. 216,000. Oh my God, dude. Are you for real? I guess inflation has hit Diablo 2 as well. Holy crap. How is that thing worth that much money? That doesn't even sound all that fantastic. It sounds lame to me. But damn, bro. 106,000. I'm only at 30. I got a lot of farming to do. Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't know, man. Ain't there anything else that could help me teleport? Maybe a little staff, a little baby staff? A wand of teleportation? Come on, yo. Oh, man. Bro. That's crazy. That's insane. Well, there. Well, let me make some room. Have those and those. Probably didn't make anything off of that. Let's see what I got in here for gear. What staff is this thing? I don't know what the hell that is, but frick, sell it. Sell everything. It's a fire sale. Everything must go. I'm not even halfway there yet. Guys are probably screaming at me saying, "Why are you selling those things, bro? Why? Relax, man. You know, It's just a game. Just trying to save some time here. If I'm really desperate, there's a place you can go where you can actually buy shit too. There's people that sell this stuff online. I'm just trying to do it legit way just because I'm trying not to be bored, but sure as hell don't feel like farming for days. Well, I'm up to 70. Okay. So I'm about 30,000 away from what I need. So, it's doable now at least. I switched to melee, and instead of depending upon arrows, and we know we got to go back. So when we go back to both dude, sheep, take me back to Luco Lane, and then find Warrior.
Your
Warrior take
presence
me back
honors
to
me.
the Countess. We're gonna have to do another level. But anyways, that's it. So I think you've seen enough. You know what needs to be done here. Um, okay, so don't waste your time going to Caress unless you got over 100K. You got to be rolling with six figures in order to do business with Orbis to get that teleportation staff. Now, you're going to wonder, okay, what happens when you get it? Well, here's the thing. So, under your skill tree, these are all the skills I'm supposed to be able to use. Right. If you get a special skill from an item, it's going to show up in here. Not sure where, but it'll show up in here. And then when you highlight it, it'll say, this skill is given to you by an item, right? But then, in order to use it, you're going to do it the same way you do any other skill. You're going to click square to bind it. And then you're going to just choose what arrow activates that skill, or you're going to choose what button activates that skill. That's all. As long as you have that item equipped, you'll be able to use that teleport skill like any other skill. Okay, that's all. So now we know how to get the teleport staff and how you can have teleport for a character that normally doesn't have that skill. And something tells me it's going to come in handy in a lot of situations, because there have already been several situations where I got stuck, and even my flaming ring of fire wasn't good enough to get me out of the jam, and I ended up getting creamed by by something that had me trapped there somewhere. One character is going to do that to you quite a bit. Is going to be Duriel. If you've already played D4, you know who he is. He is nasty as nasty comes. And in fact, a lot of gamers actually argue and say that Duriel's probably the toughest boss in the game, because his melee attacks are just absolutely devastating, and there's really there's no tricks for him. He just attacks you and pummels you to death, and you just hope. Yeah, and I admit he killed me. I don't even know how many times before I finally was able to beat him. And there are some tricks to beat him as well. I would definitely recommend scanning through YouTube to look those up. Basically, if you want a really quick summary of how I beat him, is I opened up a town portal, and then I basically tried to stay away from him while my two allies, my summon demon and my mercenary, did as much damage to them as they could. And then one of my mercenary was Amazon, and she had a cold powered bow, so she was using that on him to slow him down. And every now and then, if I got far enough away from him in the corner, it's a very small space you got to fight him in, I would fire a couple of bolts at him to try to do as much damage. And then when I saw that when he killed my mercenary and my demon, and I was running out of magic, I ran into that portal back into town, and got away from him before he could kill me. And then go ahead, recharge, fix your damaged weapons. Go ahead and resummon your mercenary. You got to go to a officer or some dude that helps you resurrect your mercenary, and then summon your beastie. And then from there, what I do is I don't use the portal to go back to Duriel, because he's going to be waiting right there for you. So what you would do in that case, you're going to use the waypoint. Now, by doing that, by using the waypoint, you use the waypoint to go back to the area, the valley of whatever, where the Tal Rasha's hall is. So it's a little bit more walking, because you got to run from the valley back to the temple again, and then run through the temple back into Duriel's chamber. But the good news is your town portal will still be there, first of all, and secondly, Duriel's waiting by the portal, so he's not expecting you to come through the main door. So you've got a couple of seconds as he fights, as he runs from the portal back to the main door, and that's all you've got in order to hammer him, pummel him, and then let your guys, and it's rinse and repeat. Jump back in the portal, go back through town, go back, and it's, you'll get the hang of it. But that was how I beat him finally. I just had to wear him down. It was a long ass run, but nonetheless. So yeah, that's it. So I'll be going back to farm the Countess for a few more rounds, until I can get the money to get that teleport staff. And then, yeah, and that's about it. That's all I got for now. Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you've inspired maybe to go ahead and get this new DLC. I will tell you, the Warlock's got his own voiceovers, so you get some new insight into some of the things that you've encountered before. He's got his own commentaries on things. So if you're really a big fan of Diablo lore, you might really dig this. You might really dig this. And I also heard that there's some more runes now, some new rune words. I haven't come across them yet, but sounds interesting. So yeah, the DLC. I'll tell you, if you're bored with nothing left to do, fire up D2, get the Warlock DLC, and give him a try. He's definitely different from the other characters. So it's unique in many ways, and I'm still learning. I'm usually the person who just goes with a Boazon or a Javazon, and that just call it a day. So this is kind of new to me, trying this guy out, but it's kind of fun, and I like that demon. I love that demon. He's really handy to have. So plus that that circle fireball spell, man, that thing's awesome. Love that stuff. But anyways, appreciate you tuning in, and get out there and have some fun. And until the next adventure.